We are so
Loud and correct buzzer.
That's I've been enjoying that meme. The loud and correct buzzer meme. What's tea, sis?
It's been years. It's been 2 weeks.
Well, the holidays have certainly...
They've thrown us off course.
We've been slowed slightly by the holidays. Well, the holidays in conjunction with what I would have to call a pretty crippling spiral into depression for me personally. But onwards.
I'm exhibiting symptoms of manic depression and like the healthiest and happiest I've ever been.
Well,
it's kind of a day-by-day basis.
Well, some would say that's the manic part of the depression.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm exhibiting symptoms of manic depression, but other times I'm just so happy and everything's going great for me.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. In the past 2 weeks, I went to New York for the weekend.
Which will, honestly, will have anyone... We'll have anyone exhibiting the symptoms of manic depression.
Yeah.
A quick little weekend trip to New York.
Yeah. Didn't tell anyone I was going. I just know too many people. And
in New York.
Yeah. So
there's people who are going to be listening to this that are like, why didn't you fucking tell me?
Like, wow, so you didn't, okay. Sorry, but I just wanted to vibe. I didn't do like any...
Well, but reserve judgment until you hear how the trip went, because you might not have wanted anything to do with with this trip.
Where I was hanging, y'all didn't want to be anyway. I got there Thursday night. By Friday night, everything had gone wrong. Like, everything went right.
It's like the record scratch. Yep, that's me. I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation.
Literally, yeah. Let's start from the beginning, shall we?
Yeah.
Lay it all out for you.
Yeah, okay.
Because you've never heard this before.
Truly.
I bought tickets for a rave on Friday night, which is my second night in New York, with High School Oomph. And he got into town. And
he's the leader of this. Like,
yeah.
He's the rave guy.
He put me on to the rave. He's been to several. It turns out LA's definition of rave and New York's definition of rave are vastly different. What I thought I'd been going to raves and was a pro at them, but I'm not. That was child's play. It was amateur hour.
The ones here?
In LA, yeah.
Well, I feel like you were going more to, like the things you've gone to are more like DJ events.
At clubs.
Than a rave.
Yeah, which I prefer.
Like, I think that...
Now that I've really been to a rave, I prefer.
Well, it's about the music, right? And so...
Yeah.
It depends, like, raves, I don't know. I don't think I've been to a proper rave.
Yeah. If you haven't been to what I went to, I don't think you have. It was like an underground rave in Brooklyn. One of those where, like, you don't get the address until, like, a few hours before. It's not public.
Because it's illegal, right?
Because it's
like,
illegal.
They're legally serving alcohol and stuff.
Which I found out, Hunter told me an hour after we left, the police shut it down. Or not even an hour, like 30 minutes after we left, the police shut it down.
Oh.
Which, mind you, it was pushing 12 o'clock in the afternoon of the following day, so, like, they were probably more just like, can y'all go home? Like,
they called the police on themselves to shut it down.
Damn, go home. Okay, my mic is plugged back in. Yeah. So my mic was unplugged the whole time.
Well, there's going to be a weird edit, but I'm going to leave this part in.
Totes.
But it's going to go from like, I used to work at a bar on Franklin, and then this slow cross dissolve, and then this part where we're explaining
okay, yeah,
that we're idiots.
Sorry, y'all. My mic was unplugged.
Anyways, so
let's get back into what I just spoken to the void about for 10 minutes.
You went to New York.
Yeah.
Oomph. High school
So
oomph.
I went to New York.
Brought you to an underground.
Yeah, I went. This is crazy. I just literally spoke for 10 minutes. So I spent a weekend in New York in the past couple weeks. And then Oomph from high school, and I planned to go to a rave in Brooklyn that was like an underground illegal rave. And Day two. This was Friday night. I got there Thursday night. This was Friday night. So we get to the rave at 3 a.m, which is what I was saying is crazy, and the big difference between LA and New York. because LA, if you're
doing
going
anything
at 3 a.m., you're literally unhinged and a predator probably, and
a drug addict, predator, bitch, fucking asshole shit.
Yeah.
Unless it's us though.
Unless it's me. When I do it, it's
when
okay.
we're there, we're the one exception.
Yeah, we're like in the coming of age film where it's like, this is the one time we're doing this and it's crazy.
Yeah, like each of the 10 times I've done that in the last.
Yeah, anyways, so I'm in New York. It's night 2 of like a long weekend that I'm spending there with Oomph. We plan to do drugs. I had planned to do ecstasy and ketamine. He had planned to do both of those and drop acid, as one does. And I think we're caught up now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then so okay, yeah, we're there at 3 a.m. We're like packing,
gathering the drugs.
we're gathering the drugs together. I parachute this pure MDMA powder, which is wrapping it up in some paper and taking it like a pill.
Yeah, swallowing a little bit of toilet paper.
It wasn't toilet paper. It was like joint rolling paper.
Oh, okay.
At least.
Well, either way.
There's that.
Either way, not meant for human consumption.
It's disgusting, yeah. But like, so I'm swallowing powder that's wrapped up in joint paper at 3 a.m. It was over for me before it began.
That's also like, I've never really done like, I've never done Molly or anything, but I know that the length of the trip, that like if you're buckling up at 3 a.m., you're in for a long one.
Yeah. Mind you, I swallowed it and then Oomph was like, "Oh, I didn't give you the full amount." And I was like, oh. I was like, no, I was like, you know what? I was like, I think I took a good amount.
I think it's already hitting me. I think I'm good.
Yeah, no, I don't think I need any more. And they literally go, "Can you just trust me?" And I was like, "Oh, sure."
Yeah, sure.
So then I took a little more, and that was what I
Twice
mean
the
when
paper
I say it was.
that way. You could have done it with one
Yeah.
paper, but
Yeah.
That way you had to double up.
I think the paper was fucking me up.
Yeah.
Not the pure MDMA powder.
Like, I think that paper unsettled my stomach a little bit.
Yeah, and then after I swallow it, Oomph is like, "By the way, this is pure crystallized MDMA powder. Like, it might make you throw up." And I was like, "What?" Because I've done Molly once before. I talked about it on the pod. It was over my birthday weekend a couple months ago, or like 2.5 months ago.
Which was a goof and a gaff. And
A goof and a gaff. I did Molly 2 nights in a row, but they were in pill form, and it was a totally different feeling. So that was the only other time I've done Molly. This was the real shit. This was like what it's supposed to feel like. Looking back now, like in retrospect, like it hit me so much harder. It was a lot crazier.
And you didn't get like the existential dread afterwards.
I didn't want to kill myself in the days following, but apparently ketamine helped balance that out. Just doing ketamine while you're on Molly like helps with that kind of thing. Apparently.
Yeah. That's why my mom does that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, ketamine is used like as a medicine, so
yeah.
And so I guess so is ecstasy used as like medicine?
MDMA is, now they're doing a lot of research.
Yeah, like microdosing.
Ketamine, like in the UK, if you're like suicidal, like actually, like not just like suicidal thoughts, but like suicidal to the point like if you had a knife in your hand, you'd be trying to kill yourself with it. If you get admitted to a hospital in like the UK, I think they'll give you a dose of ketamine, and it eliminates that. Like you don't, no longer want to kill yourself.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, so I guess missing them like wasn't that bad, but that
little part was giving Joe Rogan podcast just now, really? Like the benefits of taking psychedelics.
Yeah, well, I took the ecstasy first. It was like a couple hours before I even got into like the ketamine, but let's just say something important context for now before I get into the drug part. There was a coat check at this rave, so you had to pay $5 to give a man behind the counter your coat, and I also gave him my bag. Let's just leave that part right there.
Okay.
And then he gave me a ticket so I could get my shit back at the end of the night when I left. Regular ass coat check. Anyway, I take the ecstasy. Not even 10 minutes later we were like on the dance floor. There was not as many people there as I thought there would be. I'm not kidding, less than 50 people when I got there. I was expecting hundreds. I've been to some other clubs in Brooklyn, like when I visited in March, it was like these big warehouses that were hundreds of people.
Well, I don't think that's I don't think that this was necessarily indicative of all the events.
Yeah, but it was hyped up to me as like one of the bigger raves with like a popular DJ that is going to like sell out. That's literally what I was told.
Really?
by Oomph.
And who is the DJ in question?
Daya.
Is that a house?
Someone's gonna know her. Like, I mean, she does.
At least 30 people at this rave tour.
Yeah. There were times throughout the night when it would pick up more, but like, I don't know. It was the vibes were crazy.
It sounds like, and I used to work in an event like this here in Hollywood that would be. It was called Sunday Sanctuaries, and on Sunday, the whole bar would close down, and there was like this secret room that would have these house DJs, and like the whole point wasn't like, oh, play that one song. It was like play 6 hours of continuous music that you can't necessarily tell the difference from one song to another. Yeah. And these people were on GHB and ketamine and Molly, and it was like dance until all your clothes are wet with sweat, and you're just like in another universe. Yeah,
that was the vibe. Like it was downstairs. There was an upstairs part, and then you go downstairs. Once I got down there after taking the ecstasy, it was super smoky, 50 people,
nothing like
crazy music,
nothing like a literal descent to highlight.
No, it was quite literally like how I imagine that's when I'm gonna see when I die, probably. He's like, you got two options, brother.
There's the staircase that goes up and the staircase that goes down, and you look down, it's just like
I look down and then Daya's like, hey. It was super smoky, really dark, and just like Daya DJing in like the center of the room, and I was just like, what's going on? And yeah, so like we get really close to the amps, and it's really just thundering in my head, and that literally made me throw up. I'm not even kidding. It was the ecstasy mixed with like it was definitely induced by the music. Like I was like, oh, I'm too close to the amps, I can like really feel it, and it's aggressive. And Did you
feel it in your chest?
Everywhere, every inch of my body. It was like boom, 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 and I was like.
I used to work at this event where if I like not breathing in or breathing out, but just like relaxed, the bass would force air out of my lungs.
Right. Like yeah. So I was just like, hey, I'm gonna throw up real quick. I'll be right back. So I go to the bathroom.
No big deal. Please don't worry about me.
I'm gonna just go throw up real quick. I'll be right back. And I go to the bathroom. There's like, it's a room with like 4 bathrooms that have doors that lock right behind you. Like it's like little stalls.
Like floor to ceiling doors? Or like
they're like tall ass doors, kind of like.
Space above and below open or no?
No, it wasn't open. It wasn't like stalls, but like proper 4 bathrooms all right next to each other where you could be alone and lock the door behind you. So I go in one, I lock the door. I dry heave. Because I hadn't eaten all day. So nothing comes out, and I'm just literally, I heard someone go, oh my God. I guess I'm literally in the bathroom just going, oh. And nothing's fucking coming out.
Nothing has you sounding crazier than a dry heave. Like even regular throwing up is like, sounds less crazy than the full, like coming from deep.
Yeah, it was disgusting, but I did feel better after dry heaving, even though nothing came out. So then I go back on the dance floor. Not even 3 minutes later was I like, ooh, I gotta go back to the bathroom. Like I'm gonna throw up again. I go in there. I think I dry heaved once more, but then like I just sat on the ground because like right in that moment the Molly hit me, and what I mean by that is that like. I don't know. It just, I felt tingling all throughout my entire body, but it made me tense up like really hard. So I'm just sitting there. And also like one thing about Molly, I guess if you've never done it, is that it makes you grind your teeth.
I have never done it. So
well, as long as you're on it, for some reason it tenses your jaw, and people tell you to chew gum when you're on Molly because it makes you not grind your teeth. But I was grinding my teeth without even like realizing it. And so yeah, I'm just like super tensed up, and I'm on the floor, and I'm not nauseous per se, but like I was peaking. I was
just having a sensory.
Yeah, it was just hitting really hard, and also like a huge rush of endorphins, because that's what ecstasy does, I guess, is just your serotonin is like off the charts. So like I felt good, but also I couldn't move. Yeah. Like I was stuck where I was on the floor of this bathroom, and that was unnerving enough. I was probably there for like 20 minutes before I finally check my phone, and I'm able to like move and barely like text Oomph, who was with me, and I said like, hey, I'm so sorry. I am just like on the floor. I can't feel myself off, but I'm fine. I was like, don't worry about me. Like I'm chilling. I just need to like breathe for a few minutes, and then I'll be back out. It was because I thought it was a normal text.
Yeah.
But Oomph was just worried about me, and they were like, "You need to get out of the bathroom." They later told me that they thought I was like blacked out because I did take a few shots before we came to the rave, and apparently alcohol and Molly don't mix well together. Who'd have known? Who'd have known?
The way people in LA be taking Molly, I don't think anyone knows that.
Right.
Like I've never met someone who's on Molly who hasn't been drinking too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have tweaked either way, but there's
for
no
me,
way to know.
For me personally, alcohol helps me not tweak. Like,
yeah,
if I'm tripping a little bit, like a shot will.
Mm-hmm. And also, I'm such a heavyweight. Like, I can drink a lot and still have like my composure about me. You know, I mean, you've seen me take 15 shots and be waiting on tables.
Yeah.
I might be a little sloppy, but I can still walk and speak, and it might be like funny and crazy, but still, I'm doing it.
We've each seen each other.
You know,
do that.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. It's not like I'm being carried out the club. So I don't know. 3 shots.
You might not remember the last hour of your shift,
but I still communicated.
But I'll tell you what,
I still
your
got it done.
customers remember.
Yeah, I got it done. And there's been several nights where it's like I've drank a lot, not just at work, but like, you know, in life.
No. I mean, the most we ever drank was together was Cantor's, was Kivett's room.
Yeah, totally.
Jesus, those
and even then I drove home.
Those
Who said that?
Just us blasting Kim Petras so loud that it's clipping your speakers, going 80 miles an hour down Hollywood Boulevard, but not that, like below the blood alcohol. It was illegal. We were the only crime was the speeding.
Totally. Anyway, and the Kim Petras. Felony number 2.
What were we even listening to?
It had to be Feed the Beast.
Yeah.
Feed the Beast.
It wasn't Feed the Beast. It was Turn Off the Light.
Oh,
100%.
Definitely was Turn Off the Light. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, so I'm tweaking. I let my friend in the bathroom because they were
you're
like,
blacked out.
Yeah, they were worried about me. Well, my point was I would have been tweaking either way, and 3 shots is like nothing to me. So like, I don't know. I wasn't even drunk before we got there.
Having never taken Molly, I completely agree with you.
Because there was like 45 minutes in between me taking shots and me doing Molly, and I wasn't drunk when I took Molly, and you would have been by 45 minutes. So, I mean, whatever.
No, I think that it's your second time taking Molly. It's pure MDMA. And you took you took, I don't know how much you took, but
it was like 0.2 milligrams.
0.2?
I think so.
You took 2 points?
Yeah.
Despite not having taken Molly, I know a lot about it.
2 points. 2 points is what was taken. I think that's a good amount. Yeah, it was. Because I was freaking out.
I could tell you it was a good amount.
I'd wager you could do a little less and probably still have fun. Just my humble opinion.
Like, I don't know. I think I probably could have had a good time with the slightly lower amount.
Anyways, I let my friend in the bathroom and like, give me 10 more minutes.
Wait, so if he...
What?
So if he gave you, like, you measure it in points. So if he gave you a point and then was like, oh wait, I meant to give you more, and then proceeded to double the amount that you had taken, is what it sounds like.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, it was already divided into bags by the dealer already. So like the whole, I think he gave me most of the powder and then realized there's a little left, and he was like, oh wait, I didn't give you all of it.
Oh, so they were divided into 2-point bags.
Yes, and one was 2.5, I remember. But that's like what they took, my friend. I don't know. Anyway.
Either way. So you were tweaking. Oomph goes into the bathroom to check on you.
Yeah. I powered through after like 10 minutes of us chilling in the bathroom. Like I got up. We make it back out to the rave. I'm like dancing. But then I start having several epiphanies as I do on drugs. I can't remember them as I do when I'm not on drugs. And it was like chill.
Well, what would be the incentive to keep taking drugs if you could bring it with you, you know?
I should write shit down like when I'm on drugs, like those epiphanies.
My dad tells me the story about how he used to, and this was like in like the 80s, back when the coke was really good.
Right, yeah.
He was doing really good coke, but also like you literally, like, if you wanted to write something down, you would do so with a pen and paper. Like,
it's literally crazy.
Like no voice notes or anything. But he always remembered having these amazing thoughts and then not being able to remember them. And so one night he like made a specific effort to like have a pad and pen with him, and wrote down these thoughts, and then he said he read them the next day and it was like complete gibberish. Like
Yeah,
none of it made
yeah.
any fucking sense at all.
Oh, that sucks so bad because I know in the moment you're just thinking like, oh my god, like I'm Henry David Thoreau right now. Like I'm Walt
Yeah,
Whitman.
and you're like, God, this is so smart. And then you read it and it's like tattoo idea, and then it's like
it's like add tension by Kylie Minogue to playlist. Yeah, it's really good that I didn't write shit down while I was on drugs. I took 2 photos the entire night, 2 selfies. That's it. And
wait, I want to see them.
oh, I never showed you them. We can do a live reaction right now.
We should I'll overlay them on the pod.
Yeah, okay. They were back to back.
What's the timestamp on these two?
This one is at 4:40 in the morning.
Okay.
Not bad. Not
Okay,
not
okay.
bad.
It's giving.
And then this one is at 7:02 a.m.
Oh my God.
We'll overlay, but like when you see my eyes, it's fucking crazy.
You are on a different planet.
It was so over for me at this point. Like that is so crazy. Yeah.
Oh
I
my-
really don't know what
I
was
can't believe you
thinking.
did not show me those.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was totally gone because I think by 7 a.m. I had mixed the ketamine with it too. And here's the thing: we had to snort the ketamine. I realized I left. This is where the context of the coat check comes in for the first time. I realized I needed a key to do bumps of ketamine off of. So I go back to coat check and I'm like, hey, I forgot something in my bag. Can I grab it? And he's like, what's your number? And I go 234, or no, I think I said 236. My number was 294. So I was like way off. And then he's like, that you can't just guess. I gave you a ticket. And I was like, I start checking my pockets. Ain't no motherfucking ticket to be found.
Oh,
now, here's
no.
what I never do. I never pre-plan. I never think ahead in these situations. But the one motherfucking time I did, it literally saved my ass because I took a picture of the ticket because I saw the guy next to me do it when we went to code check. We
So
hadn't done
you-
any drugs yet. I saw the guy take a picture of his, and I literally like
so smart.
because there's some like every time I park in LA or something and in like a spot where I know I'm gonna be walking far away and I'm not gonna remember where the fuck I parked, or in a big garage at the mall or something, I'm always like, I should drop a pin so I can just GPS my way back when I'm walking here later. And I always forget. So that's what I mean when I say like I can't believe I took a photo of the ticket, because that's just something I don't do. But it literally saved my ass because
I can't
didn't
believe
have my
you
ticket.
lost the ticket. Like,
Well, I don't suspect that I lost it because of what was to happen when I left.
okay,
You know, but basically what happened was...
you had a picture of it.
Yeah, so I showed him a picture and I was like, oh, this is it. And so he brings me my bag back. I get a key out of it, and I also grab my chapstick. So I hide like the key in my fingers, and then I have my chapstick. I'm like, thanks, haha.
Why?
I don't know
being
why I
so
gave a
sketchy.
fuck. I don't know
Being
why I
so
gave a fuck.
sketchy for no reason.
I don't know why I gave a fuck, but I just made it look
Like he would be like, "Hey, where you going with that key?
yeah.
Hey, no
anyway.
keys allowed."
Shut up. He's like, no keys allowed. And I go, anyways, yeah.
And he's like, all right, take the key.
He's like, what do you need the key for? And I go, none of your business.
Oh, all right. So anyways, key,
You
ketamine.
start doing ketamine. The visuals go kind of crazy. This is one thing about ketamine, I guess, is that there's like, it's a little bit hallucinogenic or whatever the fuck, hallucinatory. And so like things would not have the movement in, but like if someone starts with their hand above their head and then they move it down to their knee, the whole movement down to their knee was not registering in my brain. So I would just like look around and see
like
people.
a strobe light.
Yeah, but there were no strobe lights. So I would just see people in one position, and then with no movement, they'd be in another, and it was like fucking me up.
Yeah, no shit.
Isn't that
dude.
crazy? How does that happen to your fucking brain?
I've never.
It was the
heard of
DJ too. Like DJ would just be moving, and it literally would just look like like that, and I was just like, oh my god, like what's
You're like,
going on?
let me take a selfie.
I'm like, pause. Let me take a selfie. Yeah, it was just really, really crazy. And then, yeah, at some point I started liking the music because the Molly was really hitting, and I was like, oh, this is good. And then
That's
started.
literally the whole point of like deep house.
Yeah.
Is to be enjoyed while on drugs. So
Right. Yeah.
It makes sense that you would enjoy it.
Yeah. So
I can get drunk enough sometimes that I enjoy deep house.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't my vibe, but I was trying to make the most of it. So we go to leave. Oomph is having a bad acid trip. But keep this in mind. It's 10 in the morning.
I wonder how many good acid trips people have. A, at 10 a.m. B, while on Molly and ketamine.
In Brooklyn.
In a basement in Brooklyn.
Yeah. None that night. From what I,
none
from
were,
what I
none
saw.
were had that night.
From what I saw. So I go back to coat check. Still never found like my ticket. He gives me my bag and my coat back because I had the picture. My phone's dead at this point.
But he remembered you?
Right. And I remembered. I was like 294. I showed you the picture earlier. He gives me my coat, my bag.
Oh, you were in the right combination of drugs where you were like limitless, where you could like.
Yeah, it was being like past tired and then you're wired, but like I could remember every little detail. Yeah, whatever.
You're like, that woman's about to trip, and then she trips. You start predicting.
Yeah, it's at the point we were having like that's so Raven ass visions.
Go to a doctor. Something's wrong with your heart.
I'm at the point where it's like I'm boarding the Titanic and I go, wait, something terrible is gonna happen.
Final destination.
Yeah.
This rave will be shut down in 34 minutes.
The ship will hit an iceberg and sink. And everyone's like, bitch, it's unsinkable.
Unsinkable.
You're crazy. Yeah. And I'm like, bitch, get on the Carpathia. Yeah, that was my vibe at 10 in the morning. So like I was awake. I clearly hadn't slept, but whatever. I get my bag back and then Oomph is like, you good? And I like run my hand through my bag. I don't know what I was looking for, but like I run it through and I was like, something's missing. I was like, my bag feels really empty. And my wallet was not in there, nor were my Ray-Ban aviator sunglasses.
Oh no.
That were in there when I gave my bag to the coat check guy. There was only one coat check guy, and he told me right then and there, I was like, hey, my wallet's not in here. And he's like, well, I'm the only one who works at this coat check, and I'm the only one who's been back here all night. And I was like,
so you took it, okay?
Interesting. I was like, quite literally, I was like, because I just went, what? I was like, well, I literally like looked like Azalea Banks. I was like, so what now? I was like, my wallet's not in here. Like, what the fuck do you mean you're the only one who's been back here? And he was like, maybe it fell. I was like, bitch, are you serious? And this is when it really started to register. Mind you, I have to like explain this to my friend who's having a bad acid trip. I'm like, hey, I don't want to freak you out. I was
but like, a crime has been committed here. Don't panic.
POV.
But a very seriously bad thing is happening.
POV, you asked me to trip sit you on acid, and I'm like, I don't want to freak you out, but something nightmarish has happened. A crime is happened. Like,
an unspeakable evil has been committed.
Yeah, my friend literally was just like, literally staring at me with like these wide eyes, and I was like, yeah, my wallet ain't in my bag. Like, what? And so I go down to the bouncers who had like looked inside my bag before going up to coat check and like entering the venue the night before. I was like, hey guys, are you the same bouncers that were here checking bags when I got here? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, is there some sort of procedure for if my wallet was in this bag when I gave it to the coat check guy and now it's not? And of course, I hadn't slept in 48 hours. I had done Molly and ketamine.
I'll put this selfie back up right now.
Yes. Yeah, I looked like this asking them. Mind you, I looked worse than this because at this point,
3 hours later.
3 hours later of teeth grinding, my jaw was an entirely different shape. And I saw it when we got in the Uber to go back. I like glanced in the mirror. I looked like fucking Matt Rife. I'm not even kidding. I literally looked like him. Like my jaw was...
God, I wish you had a picture of that.
It was an entirely... Like I looked at myself and I didn't even recognize myself. Like I had been grinding my teeth that much that my whole shape of my face was just different. It was insane. And of course my eyes, like I looked like I was tweaking. And I really wasn't at this point. But of course they thought I was. And even though I was completely calm, completely put together, besides from how I looked, but like how I was acting, I was just like, hey, like what now? So they go back up and they start shining their flashlight on the floor to see if it fucking fell. And I was like,
oh, where? Like
back in the coat check area,
okay.
Like out of my, I was like, first of all, the bag was zipped. Anyway,
a nice little performance of it.
Yeah. In my head, I'm like, can you check this bitch's pockets? Like, or he had this little like office room he kept going into. And I was like, check the drawers. I don't know. He very clearly took it, and they basically just told me to like fuck off and email the people who organized the rave. And I was like, are you serious? And they're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. And I was like, okay, well, there will be hell to pay in the next life for y'all.
Wait, so you think that someone got your ticket somehow?
I fear that the coat check guy, I don't know, I just feel like he did something. And I didn't realize this till long after, because in the moment I was sure that he stole my wallet, which he did. I later found out that he used my card.
But you don't know who used it.
I mean,
what if someone found your ticket on the ground and like went to coat check and was like,
this has just occurred to me. Wait,
well,
that's crazy.
I didn't know you had lost the ticket.
Well,
because that kind of changes everything.
I thought it changed everything, so I was like, maybe he purposefully like took it back in that moment after I took a photo or something. If I set it back down on the table in front of him, and then he was plotting to like
keep everything,
because it was a fuck the population bomber jacket that my ex gave me and was expensive, and it was a Coach bag with a Coach wallet in it,
and Ray-Ban
sunglasses,
and
then
an Apple card. Well, he hadn't gone through your wallet.
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, the cards are a whole another beast, but like
a maxed out Apple credit card, a maxed out Amex.
Yeah, it was the American Express Business Platinum credit card.
Maxed
like,
out.
I'm not even kidding. That's the highest Amex card you can get. It's second best to like the Black card, which is you have to be making like $500,000 a month to be getting that. Anyways, and also Oomph had checked with my stuff. Had checked Gautier like duffel bag too. Which is that it's Gautier. So
that was tampered with.
Yeah, they got their bag back, and they didn't really have anything worth stealing in there. So like, I guess I don't know, but yeah, my wallet was missing. But now that you say I could have dropped my ticket and maybe someone did that, I don't know. Could have happened, but the odds sound so low for that kind of thing.
If you find a coat check ticket, you're just gonna go to coat check and see what it is. You know?
Yeah, but like I said, I came back in the middle at some point to get the key to do bumps off of.
And you don't remember if your wallet was in there or not?
I'm pretty sure my wallet wasn't there at the time. Because if I was digging through it looking for a key, I would have noticed if it wasn't. But also I was peeking right at that moment. But also, no, I'm sure my wallet was in there. I definitely would have noticed that. Because I have memory of going through my bag. Like I feel like I would have recognized if it was that empty. I mean, I don't have much in my bag. So for sunglasses in my wallet, those are like the two main things in my bag. The rest is
felt completely empty.
The rest is my keys and chapstick. Like if it was just that in my bag, it would have been a lot lighter. Like I would have noticed.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I wonder, because it seems like you would have made an impression to the coat check guy, because you came back without a ticket and showed him a picture or whatever, and then he gave you the Coach bag, or the is it a Coach bag?
Yeah.
And then you gave it back to him, and then if someone different showed up with that ticket,
That's
would
what
he
I'm
not
saying.
remember giving them the same Coach bag?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, unless he's just super dumb or cracked out as well.
I mean, both very likely options.
Yeah, both of them. So who the fuck knows what happened?
Regardless,
it was stolen because my phone was dead. But as soon as I got back to other Oomph's crib in Manhattan, I turned my phone on and plugged it in, and whoever stole it had used my American Express credit card to buy a sandwich at the deli down the street in Brooklyn, because Amex shows you the exact address that they spend at, or where you spend your card at. It was $16 at a deli down the block from where the rave was, 2 hours before I even left the rave. So while I was literally there, someone had took my card and fucking booked it to a deli and bought a sandwich. But at like 6 a.m. Like, are you serious?
Probably like a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel or something.
Yeah, somebody was getting breakfast. Yeah, and then I froze all my cards immediately, and I'm shocked that they didn't try to do more, like to start doing online shopping or whatever. But I guess they just thought I was going to be too cracked out to notice. But I sure wasn't.
Like, if I only get one bagel a week, they're never going to notice that.
And I can save $50 a month. Yeah, so I don't know what they were thinking, but it was really over for me. And I had to call United Airlines and say, how the fuck do I fly without an ID?
True.
And they were like, you need a police report. So on my last night in New York, I have to go to the fucking worst place on earth for me to be in, which is a precinct. And I had to say, I need like a slip of paper showing that my ID was stolen so I can fly without it, blah, 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 blah. And then they told me that stealing a credit card is a felony, which I didn't know. and using the credit card you stole is a second felony, which I also didn't know. So if I had gone that morning, like straight to the precinct, they probably could have caught him because he was still actively trying to use my cards after I froze them. And they probably could have found him, and he probably would be in jail for many years. But I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
It still fucked the police, even when my wallet is stolen. That's how much it means to me. I waited until there was enough time for him to like escape to sunny Mexico with my shit.
I mean, honestly, even if I was aware of that shit and was like, I wouldn't. I know you. The only reason you went to the police is because you needed like a thing so you can.
I just wanted to fly.
Get through TSA.
It was not about catching him. I just wanted to fly.
But if I was like feeling some type of way about it, I would not call the police. I would personally go to the locations that he's charging my card at and see if I can find the motherfucker.
See, I thought about it. Like as soon as I hated that I had to go all the way back to Manhattan to turn my phone on. Because once I plugged it in and saw that he was still trying to use them and I had the exact addresses of where he went, I probably would have gone back to the rave if I didn't have to travel so fucking far.
Right.
But I was like, damn, I'd gotten in bed already and then my phone turned on.
You go back to the rave and look for a guy who's eating a bagel.
Yeah, literally, no, but I was like, the thought of getting back out of bed right now at 11 in the morning and making the trek back to Brooklyn to this rave in the hopes that I find him.
You were the perfect target for this crime because
he knew my ass was not going back there. And I didn't. So hopefully he got away. And then hopefully karma gets him. Because the police ain't going to do it. Because they're fucking stupid. Mm-hmm.
And you withheld evidence from them.
And I withheld evidence. Because the thing is, if I had also gone in the morning, yeah, I would have caught him. But I also would have shut down the rave. And it would have been because of me.
Well, as it turns out, it ended up getting...
Right. So, whatever. Hope he's rotting, but also hope he's not in jail.
So, if you're bummed out that Scott went to New York and didn't hit you up, you probably aren't anymore.
I couldn't. Yeah. So, that was my second night in New York out of 5 that I was there.
Good Christ.
So, I would just have to unfreeze my cards every time I wanted to use them and then immediately freeze them right back. There were several other...
Thank God for Apple Pay.
Yeah, because... Yeah, this happened to me in 2018. We had a family credit card and my brother got mugged and they stole the card. And so all of us had to we all had our own physical cards, but it was one account that my parents would pay off to build our credit. But none of us could use any of our cards because the one got stolen from my brother in New York. And I had just arrived to Pittsburgh for a summer theater program. And Apple Pay was not popular yet. It was 2018. Yeah. So I was going around asking everyone if they took Apple Pay. No one fucking
Apple
would do
Pay
it.
Just got popular.
Yeah.
Within the last... I would say a year.
Yeah, well, especially in New York because it's a big city. But trying to be Pittsburgh 2018 was not the place to be asking people if they took Apple Pay. So it was good for me that they had Apple Pay here, but it was a mess.
Man, it's crazy because say what you want about LA being a real shithole, but
New York has major cons.
I've never. Me nor anyone I know has ever been mugged in LA.
Oh, well, I have.
Oh.
I had my phone stolen in West Hollywood.
Yeah, but that wasn't a mugging. It was a pickpocket, right?
Yeah. Mugging is different. Yeah, mugged is crazy.
Give me your money or I'm going to kill you.
And that's what happened to my brother. This guy pulled a knife on him while he had just smoked weed from a pen and was laying in a hammock at a park. And he had his eyes closed. And this guy just punched him right in the face while my brother's eyes were closed and he was high. Can you imagine that? Just vibing and boom.
The vibe check of the century.
And opening your eyes and seeing a knife being over you and being some man's give me all your shit. And then my brother was can I at least have my ID? And the guy was yes. I gave him his ID but kept all the cards.
Well, I mean, true.
Because that's the thing what pissed me off the most. I was bitch, I have a flight in 3 days. Can you at least give me my ID back? I won't even tell anyone. If you just give it back, I won't even cause a scene like that.
Well, so, okay, let's say...
I have to go to the DMV because of you. That's the real evil.
Yeah, true. Maybe he should rot in prison for
this. I have to go to the DMV because your ass wanted my Amex card.
Let's say the two scenarios are the coat check guy stole the wallet, gave you your bag back, or someone checked out your bag with your lost ticket, took out the wallet and sunglasses, and still gave your bag back. Either way, what they really could have done is taken everything out of your wallet. And because I feel was it a nice wallet?
It was a Coach wallet.
Oh. That's not.
It's not that
Coach Wallet's like what,
it's not worth
$50
stealing.
or
It may like
$30.
100 maybe.
Really?
But even still, that's nothing in the like grand scheme of what wallets can cost. You know, like you're not gonna sell it for that much, mind you. It had fucking it was worn.
Every time I've ever found a wallet at a bar, like at the bars that I work at, whether it's someone turning it in or I find it in the bathroom or whatever, it's completely empty. Mm-hmm. But nobody stole the whole ass wallet. They just took the cash out of it and left the wallet.
I didn't have cash. I only had cards, my ID, and luckily, right before I left for New York, I took my social security card out of my wallet. I had been holding it in my wallet for like a year. For like a year, and I took it out right before I went to New York. It's like, thank God that. But also, I had like a Polaroid of me and like one of my best friends from high school that I can't get back. So it was just like super upsetting. I had my Gold's Gym like key card in there too. Like it's just
well,
that doesn't matter.
Well, we don't.
I haven't been to the gym in a year. That really doesn't matter. But anyways, yeah, he got away with a lot, but also not that much.
You literally just canceled your membership to Gold.
Yeah. I tried to. They were like, you're going to have to call. And I was like, fucking great.
You sent them an email that said, hi, I would like to cancel my membership. That is all. Thank you.
Yeah, literally that's what the email said. And then just said, you're gonna have to call people. Anyways, yeah, the rest of New York was fun. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
But that one night was pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, that's pretty cursed. Well, you win some, you lose some, you know?
Yeah. What did I like the next day? I don't think I even really did anything, but the following day I went to Equinox and like did a yoga class. And we also went to Soul Cycle and did like a spin class.
So just the two very opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. I went to a comedy show and I met Ivy Woke. That was pretty crazy.
And feel free to come on the pod, Ivy.
Yeah, I fumbled so hard because I didn't ask her to be on the pod.
You fumbled the opportunity for her to be like, no.
For her to lie and be like, sure.
Let me hear your information.
I'll follow you after I'm doing karaoke.
I don't have any service.
I'm doing karaoke right now, but I'll follow you like right after.
The number of times I've done that at Runyon where like someone is like at the bottom of Runyon giving away free, like, oh, try this coconut juice or whatever, and they're like, it's free, but you just have to follow us on Instagram, and I'm like, it's not working. So
oh my god, my service is terrible.
He's like, it's on airplane mode. I'm like, it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, so the comedy show was cool. I met Ivy. She was super sweet. She's been getting a lot of hate on Twitter recently, but like, I freak with her. She posted this thing that said, she said another college memory, and it was like a notes app thing typed out, screenshot, and it said that she was seeing this guy who would not want to have sex with her, and he would get high and binge eat in order to avoid having sex with her. And there was one night where he did that, and she texted him and said, how you finna eat my pussy with a mouth full of mozzarella sticks, bruh? She's 19, mind you. And then everyone just laid in on her. They were like, this is sexual harassment. Like, how could you? Like, this man was binge eating just to avoid you. Like, you're crazy.
Yo, what?
And this was right before the comedy show. Like, I was checking Twitter all day and seeing updates on this, and it was like going viral. And then she performed at the comedy show, and then there was an after party, like a designated after party for the show at Singers, which is this gay bar in Brooklyn that's very like iconic. And yeah, I went up to her and I was like, hey, I love you. I was like, you don't deserve the hate you're getting. I mean, how really, is he finna eat your pussy with mozzarella sticks?
She doesn't. Like, what is everyone so upset about?
I don't know. I really don't.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. There was many different perspectives on it, but like, I don't know.
That's the problem with the internet now. It's like everyone got a fucking opinion about some. Like,
yeah, writing dissertations about how you finna eat my pussy with mozzarella sticks in your mouth, bro. Like
it's an impossibility.
That's already stupid enough for you to like just no comment, you know?
I mean, is she an idiot for like not moving on from a guy who's like literally binge eating to avoid you?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, if she was 19 now and that was like a while ago, she could have been a whole teenager, which is like, we all do stupid shit.
She still is a teenager. She's 19.
She's a consenting adult, actually.
That's what you think. Well, was he?
I don't know. I don't know the rest of the details.
She said it was a college memory, so like how long ago could it have been?
She's like me. I only went for one semester and then dropped the fuck out. Yeah, so I don't know.
She's like me. I took 3 months of community college, and then
sexually harassed one and then dropped out.
No, I never would do anything like that. If anything, I was sexually harassed myself, and that's why I had to keep binge eating. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah. But she was so nice, and I love her. And we took a pic together, and maybe we can overlay it right here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
Boom. There it is.
That's the cute rest of the trip. Just
Also, and Joe Pero was like the headliner at that comedy show. You know him?
No.
Big name.
Maybe I know him.
Big name.
I might know him from like TikTok or something.
Perhaps. He has like this he talks super slow and like stupid.
Oh yeah.
He's like
tall white guy.
He low-key seems like the older version of the kid in the Goldbergs.
I know exactly who you're talking about. He's like just now blowing up. He's like blowing up right now.
Yeah, no, he's super funny and he was cool.
He talks so slowly.
Yeah.
What does he do? He was like, he has a joke about the Jeffrey Dahmer. When the Jeffrey Dahmer show came out, it was like a really bad week for him.
Yeah, because he looks like him. Yeah. But the comedy show was set up where it was hosted by April Clark and Grace something, but they have the podcast Girl God, and it's popular in like a corner of the internet. No shade. And I can't even shade them.
What corner of the internet are we popular?
Yeah, we can't. But they're really funny. I've been following April for the longest, and then they hosted it, so it wasn't stand up, but they were like interviewing these other comedians, and the format was like Christmas
Joe is
themed.
the only one who actually does stand up of all those comedians, probably.
Ivy does too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the other people were like from podcasts, but they were being interviewed in like a Christmas theme or whatever, and the theme was like raising money for Rudolph's facial feminization surgery. And every comedian was like different people from the North Pole. So like Joe Pero was like the Grinch, and he would speak like as the Grinch. So they're like doing these little skits basically.
Did he do, because the voice is it's a bit, that's not how he...
Yeah, no, he spoke like normal, and he was dressed like normal too. Like he didn't give a fuck, I think. And he was on stage for all of 10 minutes.
Because any of his clips on TikTok, like the blue search option is Joe Pero normal voice. Like people are trying to ascertain.
No, he spoke in his normal bit voice.
Yeah.
But Ivy was super funny. Like her role was like the nicest kid in the North Pole, and they interviewed her alongside the baddest kid in the North Pole, and they were like, why were you the nicest kid? And she was like, I was just volunteering a lot this year, like helping out, like boots to the ground in Israel, like helping the IDF. And they were like, what about Gaza? And she goes, what's Gaza? And then they were like, okay, so if you're the nicest kid, what would you want as what's your gift this year then for being the nicest kid? And she goes, an Anglo-Saxon ethno state with boys and girls, just boys and girls. She's like, and I'm the leader. And they're like, what's the gift under the tree for that? And she was like, a map of the ethno state with the boys and girls. But yeah, she was really funny. At one point she ate an entire cigarette. Like the bad kid gave her a cigarette and she goes, this smells so good. And then she just like bit into it. It was a real cigarette. And then she like chewed it all and then like spit it out. It was literally like, she was crazy.
It sounds, yeah. I wish I could.
Love her. Love her boots.
Well, have her come on.
Love her. I'll DM her. I'll DM her.
Fly to LA just for our fuck ass podcast.
She wants to be. So they're making a mini series of The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis, which is the book I'm reading right now.
Okay.
Author of American Psycho.
And several other emotional.
Less Than Zero. Yeah, like good books. And I'm reading his latest.
All usually very, very dark.
Yeah, this book I'm reading right now, it's called The Shards. It's set in 1980s Los Angeles, and it's about a serial killer hunting a group of super wealthy, privileged high school students that go to a boarding school. And it's super cool that it's like set in LA, because you're like reading about 80s LA. But anyway, they're making a mini series out of it, and Luca Guadagnino is directing it. He directed Call Me by Your Name, and We Are Who We Are, and like other shit, and Bones and all. And so Ivy was the one who put me onto that, because she was tweeting and she was like tagging Bret and Easton Ellis, and she was like, I need to be in the show, like all this stuff. And I was like, I need to be in the show, like I want to play the 17-year-old like lead, and I feel like I could. Although I looked it up, and Bret Easton Ellis is 6 feet tall, so like maybe I won't. But maybe when he was 17 he was 5'7".
Just had a real late growth spurt.
So I don't know, but like if Ivy and I ended up in that together, I think that'd be hilarious.
That would be a goof in and of itself.
Definitely.
And you'd be like, hey, remember that?
Because I can see who she would play just from reading it. So like I feel like we...
All right. Well, our battery is running low on this.
We were gonna get into the Senate twink.
Yeah, but I mean, we might not. We only have a limited. Probably have like a couple minutes left.
Well, I mean, we've had a good recap anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, we could talk about the Senate T word, but that's by the time this drops, something crazier.
Literally, like it's gonna be so over.
On like sacred U.S. Like someone's gonna jerk off where they've signed the Declaration of Independence.
Apparently, a second bottom has already filmed themselves having sex. A second White House staffer bottom.
A second.
Yeah, and then someone like edited or like quote tweeted it with a picture of the guy like whispering to George Bush. So there's a second plane.
There's a second bottom in the Senate.
A second bottom
building.
has filmed themselves having sex in the Congress Tower building. Imagine when the second plane hit, the guy just leaned over to George Bush and went, and that was the code word for terrorism. So what are our New Year's plans before we go?
Well, I'm gonna be at work.
Me too.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So happy New Year, everyone.
We will definitely have some funny stories after that, though.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have more guests on.
Although you're sober.
We'll see. Funnier shit has happened when I'm sober though sometimes, so like
Yeah.
it doesn't discriminate.
Truly.
So yeah, happy New Year. I'm gonna be doing many rituals in the week between Christmas and New Year's. I'm gonna be like doing spells and stuff like that.
Okay, we're gonna like manifest some stuff over here.
Yeah, it manifests good stuff for me and maybe some bad stuff for some other people.
Okay, so that's a threat. All right, let's end this before the battery dies. Sorry for the layoff. This is gonna drop before New Year's, so we're gonna have one probably like right after New Year's.
Yeah, I went to New York and then we both got sick.
Yeah.
Like one after another, so there was a little break, but.
But regardless, thanks for listening. You can catch us on Spotify and YouTube for the video, and Apple Podcasts if you just want to hear the voices. But I do recommend the video.
Yeah, we got them pictures on there.
Yeah, I've upped the game with the editing, and we also have some plans for the new year for the podcast. That's just gonna either make it so much funnier or really intolerable.
And I'm about to have more free time because I'm not taking a community college class next semester, so I'm gonna work more on like posting TikToks and then we'll be up.
Well, yeah. Then we'll be so back.
Yeah. 2024 it's an election year, so like it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a fucking good one.
Yeah, we're gonna have some shit to talk about. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Love you.